All right, welcome everyone to the True Alien Podcast.
Woo!
The show where we dive headfirst into the weird and wonderful world of aliens, abductions, UFOs, Bigfoot, you need it. We're talking all things strange and unexplained, and always with a good laugh along the way.
Always a good laugh.
Because let's face it, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, right?
Definitely.
I'm Adrian Smith.
I'm Julia Jones.
And we're here to, well, probe the paranormal, separate fact from fiction,
Yeah.
and maybe have a little fun while we're at it.
Exactly.
So strap yourselves in, folks, because today we're going deep, deep, deep into a story that's got it all. Virtual reality, aliens, prophecies, and even a bioengineered armadillo mole.
Oh, don't forget the pizza.
Oh, right, the pizza. Can't forget the pizza.
The crucial detail.
It's a wild one, so buckle up.
Absolutely.
So, Julia, you've been digging into this narrative called Glitch Quest. What's the gist?
Yeah, so Glitch Quest is about this gamer, Nova Starcrusher 99 Tanaka.
Starcrusher 99. Okay.
I know, right? Total gamer handle. But anyway, she was this total prodigy, dominating the online gaming world. But in real life, in Tokyo, she was, well, kind of shy and awkward.
So like a classic online versus real life persona thing.
Exactly. Like online, she's this fearless, trash-talking champion, but offline, she's more comfortable blending into the background.
Interesting. Makes you wonder if maybe that's what drew those aliens to her, that contrast.
Maybe, yeah. Like they were looking for someone who could think outside the box, someone who wasn't afraid to break the rules.
Yeah, interesting thought. So what about this game, Elysium? What's the deal with that?
Okay, so Elysium was this super hyped, unreleased VR game. People were saying it was so immersive, it was basically indistinguishable from reality. But there were also all these rumors flying around.
Okay, the rumors.
Like some people were saying it was a hoax, others thought it was some kind of data harvesting scheme.
Yeah, the usual tech paranoia.
Right. But Nova, she's not one to be deterred by a few scary rumors.
Of course not. She's Starcrusher 99.
Exactly. So she hacks into the game's code and dives right in.
Bold move. So what happens when she gets in?
Well, at first, it's exactly like those rumors describe. A totally immersive experience. She's in this moonlit forest. She can smell the damp earth, feel the chill in the air. It's like she's really there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But then things start to get, well, weird. She hears this voice.
A voice like in the game.
Yeah, but it's not like a regular game voice. It's like ethereal, whispering directly into her mind. And it says, "Chosen one."
Ooh, chosen one. That's pretty classic.
Right. Total cliche. And Nova, she's like, yeah, right, whatever. She's ready to disconnect, thinks it's just some cheesy game trope.
I mean, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah, but then before she can pull the plug, everything changes. The forest transforms into these giant crystalline spires, gravity goes haywire, and these shimmering, dragonfly-like creatures made of starlight start appearing.
Whoa, hold on. That doesn't sound like any VR game I've ever heard of.
Right. It's way beyond anything we have now, and that's when Nova realizes this is not a game. This is something else entirely.
Okay, so we've got a skeptical gamer, hyper-realistic VR world that turns out to be something way more, and now, dragonfly starlight creatures.
Yep, you got it. And this is where Arlie comes in.
Who's Orly?
She's the voice. This, like, being of pure energy who was talking to Nova telepathically.
Telepathically, wow. Okay, things are getting pretty out there.
Oh, yeah. And it turns out Arlie is in desperate need of help. Her planet is dying, and some ancient prophecy says that a Starbringer, an outsider with a fresh perspective, is the only one who can save them.
So they created this super advanced VR world, Elysium, just to find this Starbringer.
Yeah, basically, it was their last hope.
And they think Nova's the one.
Well, the prophecy did say the Starbringer would come from beyond their world, someone who thinks differently.
I guess a gamer who hacks into unreleased VR experiences kind of fits the bill, huh?
Right. And Nova's reaction is priceless. She's like, easy mode, all sarcastic, but then she says, fine, but you're buying me pizza afterwards.
Ah, typical gamer. Always gotta have that fuel.
Right. But you can tell, even though she's cracking jokes, there's this spark of defiance in her, like she's ready for a challenge.
So what's the first challenge? What do these aliens have in store for our pizza-loving hero?
Her first mission is to cross the Shrieking Wastes, this toxic wasteland, and her ride, a bioengineered armadillo mole hybrid named Fluffy,
An armadillo-mole hybrid. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, and apparently it was not a pleasant experience. Imagine a glitchy platformer with a side of mole sweat.
Ew! Okay, not exactly a glamorous start to a heroic journey.
No, not at all. But it gets even weirder. She eventually reaches the Crystal City, still not quite sure what she's supposed to do to save this planet, just that she needs to complete these trials.
Trials? Like, what kind of trials?
Well, the first one is called the Labyrinth of Whispers, and it's not about fighting monsters or anything like that.
What is it then?
It's about facing her own fears and insecurities.
So it's a psychological challenge.
Exactly. And then she has to face the Forge of Nightmares, which is more action-packed.
Oh, how so?
Well, imagine dodging fireballs, but with a glitching twist.
Glitching fireballs. Sounds like a nightmare.
Right. But she gets through it. And each time she overcomes one of these trials, she starts to realize that it's changing her. Like, the aliens weren't just testing her, they were helping her evolve.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about Nova saving the aliens, it's about her own growth, too.
Right. And as she's completing these trials, she starts to understand that her way of thinking, that gamer mindset of finding loopholes and exploiting glitches, is exactly what the aliens need. They're too rigid, too stuck in their ways, and they need her fresh perspective to shake things up.
So she's like the wild card they need to break out of their rut?
Exactly.
So what's the final challenge? How does she actually save their planet?
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. She comes to this shimmering pool, and it's reflecting Orly, but she's all withered and fading.
So Orly's dying.
Yeah, it turns out the whole prophecy thing, it wasn't about finding a chosen one to swoop in and save the day.
It wasn't?
Nope, it was more like a mirrored plea.
Mirrored plea? What do you mean?
The aliens were dying because they were too rigid, too set in their ways. They needed someone to show them a different way of thinking, to remind them of the possibilities they'd forgotten.
Ah, so the prophecy wasn't about finding a savior. It was about finding a catalyst for change.
Exactly, and that's what Nova becomes.
So what happens? Does she, like, teach them how to play video games?
Not quite. They link minds, but it's not about transferring knowledge or anything like that. It's more about sharing visions, possibilities. Nova shows them images of human cities, collaborations, the ways humans have learned to adapt and survive, even in the face of disaster.
And what does Orly show her?
Orle shares their history, their forgotten lore, the interconnectedness of their world, the things they'd overlooked because they were so stuck in their own ways.
Wow, so it's a real exchange of perspectives, a two-way street.
Exactly. It's about finding a new path forward together.
Amazing. So what happens to Nova? Does she stay on this alien planet?
Nope. She finds herself back in her Tokyo apartment. Elysium is gone, just a single data pad left behind.
And what's on the data pad?
It just says begin.
Begin. That's pretty cryptic.
It is. But the story ends with the idea that Nova, who used to crave adventure in virtual worlds, now realizes that real adventure is about shaping the future, both in the real world and the digital one.
Oh, and did she ever get that pizza?
That's the real cliffhanger.
Right. So, Julia, this whole paranormal probe, what do you make of this story? Is it even remotely plausible?
Well, if we're talking about aliens building an interdimensional VR system to recruit gamers, probably not.
Yeah, that's pretty far out there.
But, I think there's something to be said for the metaphorical side of this story.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about it. Elysium could represent any experience that challenges our way of thinking, forces us to grow. It could be anything. A personal crisis, a journey of self-discovery, even just encountering a really powerful piece of art.
Right, like a wake-up call that shakes you out of your routine.
Exactly. And the chosen one aspect, while maybe not so literal, speaks to our desire for purpose, for meaning in our lives.
And the idea that this advanced alien civilization needed an outsider to save them, that's pretty thought-provoking too.
Totally. Makes you think about our own potential blind spots, Like, maybe we're all a little too set in our ways sometimes and could benefit from a fresh perspective.
Yeah, maybe we all need a little glitch quest in our lives.
Who knows? Maybe we do.
Well, this has been quite the paranormal probe. Big thanks to Julia Jones for sharing her expertise with us.
My pleasure.
And to you, dear listeners, thanks for joining us on the True Alien Podcast. Keep your minds open, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe you'll stumble upon your own Elysium one day.
And don't forget the pizza.
Of course, always remember the pizza. Until next time, stay curious, stay strange, and we'll catch you on the flip side.